Good morning. Welcome to the Bible in Plain Sight. Today I want to mix it up a little bit. And today I want to do a little bit of a book review for a book that I have read or been reading recently. I'm not quite finished with it yet. My goal is to finish it by today, and I have not quite finished it yet. But I want to do a bit of a review with you on this book, Don't Give the Enemy a Seat at Your Table. This has been such an amazing read for me. I want to tell you why. I bought this book, or I didn't buy it for myself. I asked David to buy it for me for Christmas, and I sent him the link to it, the Amazon link to it. Don't Give the Enemy a Seat at Your Table by Louie Giglio. So I had asked for this book for Christmas. I took it with me on our trip to see family over Christmas and just did not have the time to read it. So we've been snowed in the last week, and I just sat down and dedicated time to reading it. But last Thursday, I was planning on taking Jackson to his dental surgery. It's been on the schedule for months. And this is just God's timing that I want to tell you about, how God used this book in my life that day. So I had this book in my purse, and I was going to read it during the surgery. And I thought this will be great. I'll have several hours of uninterrupted time to read, which I just value so much, and I don't get very much anymore. So I thought this was going to be so good. We get to the surgery, we're checking in, and everything's going okay. And then she says something, she asked Jackson a question, and she said, when was the last time you had any water? And I said, oh, he had water last night at dinner, like it's around 7:30. We ate late because he couldn't have food the next day because of his dental surgery. And he said, well, I had water, when I brushed my teeth. And I thought, well, that's odd. And she said, how much water did you have? And he said, 5 or 6 handfuls. And she said, okay. So she marked it down, and then she asked us several more questions, and then she said, I'm going to go ask the doctor about this. I'll be right back. So when she left, I said, Jackson, did you swallow 5 or 6 handfuls of water? Or did you like spit them out? And he said, no, I spit them out. He said, a couple of drops got down, but I didn't swallow it. I spit it out. And I said, okay. I said, you need to clarify that for her when she comes in, because the way you said it, it sounded like you swallowed water. Anyway, long story short, we had to postpone the surgery. They would not do it because I said, look, I asked him, and we talked about it when she came back in, and she was like, it's too late. He's already admitted to drinking water. And I was a little annoyed. A little annoyed is probably putting it lightly. I thought, I've taken the day off work. We didn't go to the marriage retreat. Now, granted, that Thursday night is when it started raining really badly and the weather got even worse than it already was. So it was bad. But anyway, then as soon as we left, she said, you can come back this afternoon. We'll do the surgery this afternoon. I'm like, okay, fine. We'll just do it. He had already not eaten, so I needed to go get him food. So I'm in the parking lot talking to David, and I'm like, Dave, we've got to move the surgery to the afternoon and all this stuff. We're trying to figure out in our head how we're going to do all this. And I'm sitting there, and this book, Don't Give the Enemy a Seat at Your Table, is glaring at me from my purse. And I can see this bright yellow cover, and I'm like, Lord, I don't have time for that right now. I don't have time for the principles of giving the enemy a seat at my table. I'll read that later. So I'm telling David, and David's like, are you serious? Because he said he had water when he was brushing his teeth. And I'm like, yes. So anyway, it was a very frustrating couple of minutes as we were trying to figure out what we're going to do next. So as I'm talking to David, I get a text from the nurse, and she says, hey, don't forget, he has to eat by 9. And that was in 20 minutes. And we live 30 minutes away from where the dentist office is. And I was like, are you serious right now? Nothing's open. How am I going to get food in him in 20 minutes? So I go down, I'm on Callahan, and I go down Clinton Highway. Nothing is open except McDonald's. And the McDonald's parking lot was terrible. So I get to the McDonald's. I'm in line for food, and the nurse calls me. But I'm literally handing the guy my debit card, so I can't take the call. So I give him the debit card. I pay for it. I get to the next window, and I call her right back from my phone in the car. And she said, hey, we have an opening at 1. Do you want to come in at 1? But he can't eat any food. If you've ordered him food or if you've gotten him food, he can't eat any food. Has he eaten yet? And I said, well, no, but I just ordered it. And she was like, well, we can wait till 4. And I'm like, no, if we have something at 1, let's do it at 1. I'm just trying to think through this because there's a clear liquid deadline and there's a water deadline. There's all these deadlines, and I'm sitting here trying to think about how I'm going to do this. I'm 30 minutes from home. He can have apple juice for the next few minutes. Like, I'm just trying to think through it all. And the guy's handing me my food, and Jackson's in the back like, what's wrong, Mom? And there's all this information coming at me, and I'm feeling even more frustrated. And then on the phone, she says, oh, never mind. Sorry, we gave that appointment to somebody else. Sorry. I did try to call, but you didn't answer. And I said, I was literally paying for our food at McDonald's. It's the only thing open. That is the only reason I didn't answer. And she said, I told you to call me back. And just her tone, I'm sure she didn't mean it like that. And I said, ma'am, you told me to call you back at 11. It's 9. So it wasn't time for me to call you back. And she said, oh yeah, well, you're right. That's true. And I'm like, but that's true. I was even more frustrated. So we go home. I'm trying to enjoy the day. But, anyway, Eli's coming outside. Why is Eli coming outside? He needs to go back in. He has no coat on. Anyway, I think he's coming in here to say goodbye because I'm getting ready to go to work. Anyway, let me see what he said. Hey, buddy, what's up?
Why is it taking you so long?
Why is it taking me so long? Can you say hi?
Hi.
I'm just doing a little study on a book that I read last week and how it really helped me.
We were saying bye, but to hear us.
No, I can't hear you through the window, but I'll wave bye whenever I pull out of the driveway. I'll wave bye to you, okay?
I was bye.
Okay.
And I was just walking.
Yeah, I was looking at my phone, but I'll wave bye whenever I leave from the driveway, okay?
I thought you were talking to Siri.
You know I wasn't talking to Siri. Go back inside. You have no coat on. I love you, buddy. I'll see you later, okay?
Bye.
Bye, honey. I love you.
When you don't see me at the window,
Yeah.
Don't leave, okay?
Okay, I will.
Jackson, bye.
Okay, I love you both. I'll see you in just a few minutes. I'll see you after work today, okay? Okay, love you. Okay, anyway. So, these little stinkers. Bye, buddy. So, anyway, we get home, and I'm trying to just unwind from all the things. My car had slipped coming up the hill. I couldn't get up the hill when we were trying to come back home. David had to come out and get me. I tried multiple times. My car started sliding and fishtailing backwards. And this was all like by 9:30, So I had taken the day off work. And anyway, it was just a frustrating morning. We get home, I get some food, and I get out my book and I start reading. And I was like, well, okay, Lord, I have a lesson to learn here. I had just been telling David, I said, babe, it's so hard to work with my regular full-time job while you guys are here having snow days, and they're out here watching movies and having snacks and reading books, and I'm in there in my office trying to work and trying to be on calls and trying to just do my regular job. It's really hard. But you know what? I had a free day. Long story, they ended up canceling the whole surgery that day. I had called at 11, like my favorite nurse asked me to call. I did that. They said, yes, we'll see you this afternoon at 4 o'clock, or 3:30 for the 4 o'clock surgery. Then they called me back right after I had confirmed, and they said, bye, buddy. And they said, sorry, other procedures took too long. Now we can't do the surgery today. And I thought, you know what? You gave us a free day at home to be together as a family, and I really need to enjoy that day. This day that you've given me. I had asked Jackson and reminded him again to brush his teeth that morning. I probably should not have even done that. They didn't mention brushing your teeth, but I should have just thought, like, oh no, maybe I shouldn't have him brush his teeth. And I did anyway. I shouldn't have done that. And then as soon as she said, well, it's too dangerous, and I wanted to be like, he had a couple of drops of water. Are we sure? I'm not in the medical field. I'm sure it's a liability. I'm sure it's dangerous when you put kids under full anesthesia. They drink water. I asked another nurse mom friend of mine. I'm like, look, am I overreacting? And she's like, well, it really can be dangerous. And I'm like, okay. So thank you, Danielle, for your honesty if you watch this. But anyway, then I opened up this book, Don't Give the Enemy a Seat at Your Table. And Louie Giglio talks about a time in his ministry when he texted a friend who, when he really needed validation that he was right. And this friend said to him as he was trying to validate that he was right and this other person who'd been talking against him was wrong. And he was texting him, and he said, Louie, don't give the enemy a seat at your table. And he said, in that moment, all I wanted was validation that I was right. I wanted someone in my corner saying, you're not wrong, you're right. And then he talks about Psalm 23. When in Psalm 23, it says, I prepared a table for you in the presence of your enemies. And he talks about the table that God has set for me and God has set for you. And when God is in the midst of our enemies, he's not afraid of our enemies. He's not afraid of our anxiety, our depression, our anger. He's not afraid of the addictions that you face. He's not afraid of those things. He sits there with a table prepared for you and a table prepared for me. And sometimes unknowingly, something else he said that was very interesting to me is that the enemy will speak to us through words of empathy. You deserve more. I can't believe so-and-so did this to you. Or you are so amazing and blah, 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 and whatever it is. And sometimes the love of someone that we really care about speaking to us, sometimes truth hurts a little bit. But the devil doesn't speak to us in hurtful truth. He speaks to us in empathy that builds us up and builds other people down. And then when we give in to that, then it's a tone of condemnation. So one of the things that he said I want to read, and he goes through, I don't want to give away the whole book, I just encourage you to read it. One of the things he says, he goes through many different aspects of it. But, listen to this. If you're hearing a voice that says, everybody is against you, the enemy is already at your table. And then he goes through many different things and examples of if the enemy is telling you this, then he's already at your table. So today, I want to just really encourage you to read this book. Don't give the enemy a seat at your table. This book has really helped me the last couple of days when things have not gone my way or not gone as I planned or when things have just happened. That book has been an instant reminder of, am I giving the enemy a seat at my table right now? Am I allowing him in to a plan that God had for me? So today, wherever you are, whatever you're going through, don't give the enemy a seat at your table. God has prepared something special and unique for you. He has a wonderful plan for your life. Don't give the enemy a seat at your table. I would really encourage you to check out that book. I will try to put like an Amazon link to it or something in the general caption of the story. But thank you all for hopping on today. I hope that encouraged you and I hope it encouraged you to a good book to read. It's an easy read. It's not a thick read. It's an easy read. He writes in a very captivating way that's easy to stay connected to. So if you're looking for a good book to read, highly recommend that one. It really encouraged me this week when I was very tempted to sit in my house and stew about how ridiculous this was. And was it maybe ridiculous? I still think maybe a little bit ridiculous. But here's the thing. If I had let that ruin my entire day, I tell Jackson all the time, we're not going to let one bad moment ruin our day, and I was sitting there doing the same thing. And God really used that book to kind of pull me out of a little funk and say, you know what, Carol? You asked for a day, and I gave you a day to be with your family. And that's what we did that day. We just enjoyed the day together as a family, and it was wonderful. Thank you. I hope you have a great day. Praying for you.